Hey, Manny, Greg Moore here. How are you?
Very good, sir. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, man. Listen, I'm based in Phoenix, and there are tiny little family-owned gyms all around me. And I know that that's the case from California all the way to Texas throughout the Southwest.
Yes, sir.
Could you tell me what those
Yes,
small
indeed.
gyms mean to fighters like Andy and to people who recognize themselves when they see him?
Gives you reason to believe, and anything in life is possible. And I've seen this many time and time again. I mean, look at boxing. Boxing is a poor man's sport, man. You know, it gives you an opportunity to dream, to I come from the same background as Andy does, as many fighters in California, all over the South, and in New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, all over pretty much. Uh, Again, it gives you the reason to believe. It gives you the never judge. It gives you a reason to never judge a book by its cover. You know, never underestimate someone, especially you know when knowing where they come from. We have to endure so much. We have to go through so much. Being a minority in this country, it gives us strength, family, our friends, our community. This is who we fight for. What we fight for. It's more than just money. It's more than just a belt. It's about giving our people an opportunity and to prosper and to do better. Especially someone like Andy, that it's making history, and it's giving people, not just us as Mexicans, but people all over the world. It gives people a reason to believe and to believe that anything in life is possible. Not just in boxing or people going to school, people going to work on a daily basis, and knowing that we have to go through so much, but it just makes you believe. And your question, I mean, it's important because if you're asking this question, you must know. You must know what we go through. You must have been you must have been visited these gyms in order for you to understand, what we go through on a daily basis.
Manny, I've been in 1,000 of them. They're tiny.
Yeah,
There's one coach. There's 50 kids. There's
right.
whatever equipment folks can scrap together. And whenever somebody gets a couple of bucks, they pour it right back into that gym. And I know that
Yes,
that
sir.
helps create a resolve in people. And I wanted to hear you speak about, maybe could you tell me about your first gym, or maybe it was the backyard. I don't know. But I've been to a lot of these places, and I love to hear people who've come up through that system describe it. So could you tell me about your first gym?
A- Absolutely, because I again, as you said, I come from that. You know what I mean? That's why I understand that when you ask the question, that's a great question, by the way. When you ask that question, I know exactly what you're talking about. I grew up in the city of Bell, and I come from a gym called Azteca Gym, which is a very, very popular gym in Southern California. Probably the oldest gym that's left in Southern California. It's been around since the 70s, and a lot of great fighters have passed through this gym, including Julio Cesar Chavez. And it's a very it's in the middle, it's in the hood, you know. And we had I remember when I had to walk to the gym. I grew up in the 80s, so back in the 80s, it was gang infested, drug infested, and I had to pretty much walk through the neighborhood and walk through the local neighborhood gang on a daily basis just to get to the gym and back, you know, and and that was hard. It was difficult, but my family, everything that my family had to go through, migrated to this country back in the 70s, and everything that we had to go through as a family, all the ups and downs, all the all the tears and the pain and the suffering that you have to go through coming up, the way we did, and but you understanding that boxing is sometimes the only opportunity you have. It's the only chance you have to prosper and try to make anything of yourself. You know what I mean? And if it's the only chance we have, then we're gonna take it. We're gonna take advantage of it. And then my dad was my coach. My dad passed away now, but my dad, excuse me, my dad was my mentor. He was my best friend. He was my everything. So if it wasn't for my dad, I wouldn't be where I am today. Having that foundation, having no understanding that family is everything. Again, going back to what I was saying before, we do this for family. Andy does this for family. If you ask any fighter, this is who we do it for, to try to give them a better quality of life, give them an opportunity, and make a long story short, I started at Azteca Gym. Eventually, I became a coach. So when I did, I felt that it was my responsibility to make sure that I gave these kids a chance, an opportunity to not not so much become a world champion or become world champions, but to give them an opportunity of life, to say, hey, I believe in you. Anything in life is possible. You can go to school, you can get an education, you can win a local tournament, you can win a district, a state tournament, a regional tournament, you can become a national champion. Because when kids are that young, what they want, they want to get sometimes just getting out of the city. There's kids in our community that have never been outside of LA. You know what I mean? They've never been to. If you talk to them about going to Arizona or going up to Northern California or Nevada, or you can go to these different tournaments. They've never been. They've never even been on a freaking airplane. You know what I mean? So when these kids, they want to travel to these tournaments because, they're thinking, oh man, I want to get on that plane. You know what I mean? Or I want to be part of something special. You know what I'm saying? Like
I do. I hear you, man.
And so you travel. I mean, I started from obviously as a coach. I have my amateur background. And that's who my kids. They helped me get to where I am today. And all of these kids that I was able to work with. Obviously, you understand as a coach that they're not all going to become world champions. They're not all going to become amateur national champions or all go to the Olympics. But damn it, as I tell them, and as I still tell my professional fighters, give it all you got. That's all anybody can ask for. If you give it 100%, give it all you got. Give yourself an opportunity. And at the end of the day, if you don't make it, if you don't become a world champion, if you don't become as an amateur, if you don't become a national champion or a regional or state champion, just know that you gave it all you got. And I'm proud to say that every one of the kids that I've been able to work with, as amateurs, as pros, they're all doing fine. They may not, again, as I said, they may not all be, they're not all going to become world champions, but they're doing well. And that's what boxing teaches you. It teaches you to become good citizens, good people, family. Being able to you get up every day to go, to go run. You go to school, you go to the gym on a daily basis. You're already learning to work. Whether they know it or not, discipline. That they're learning discipline. They're learning that, hey, I gotta get up to go to work. I gotta get up to go to school. And it just, you take that with you for the rest of your life, and then you teach your kids the same thing. Hey, you got to get up. Hey, you got to go to school. You got to get good grades. You got to go to work. You got to hustle. You know what I mean? And that's what you want. And I'm happy to say that all of these kids, man, and I'm still working with amateurs. I've had my share of world champions, but I'm still working with those kids back at the gym. I'm still developing fighters. I'm still giving, because I have to. It's my obligation. When Andy won the heavyweight championship of the world back on June 1st, Saturday, June 1st, on June 3rd, I was back in the gym. The Monday morning, I was back in the gym working with my guys, working with my amateurs, my pros, because nothing changed. The situation, a situation should never define who you are as a person. You know, and I'm proud to say that man, I'm still out there, working with my other guys, working with my other fighters. Again, as I said, my amateurs, my pros, trying to make sure that I help them reach their goals, reach their dreams.
Thank you, man.